Alright, let's talk about all of the characters that are available in Chaos Zero Nightmare and talk about their value as well. So first of all, this is like based on the beta version that we had, and like all the characters information and kind of like their tier list is based on that. And we gotta wait and see on the official launch if like something's going to be changed, if a character is going to be buffed up or nerfed down. We're gonna update this for sure. But based on the Pride One website and all the information that we have here, we're gonna talk about the characters now. So as the DPS characters, damage dealers, most of them are damage dealers, and we have like 7 5-star characters and also 5 of the 4-star ones. So we'll go through them one by one so that you will have like the gist of what the characters are doing. So first one, Hugo, as the first 5-star character in the list. He's like a main single target damage dealer character. So he has this hunt commence that's the most like important thing about him, that will do an extra damage by 70%, and also increases the extra damage per hunting start stack by 30%. So he needs to get this hunting commence up so that he will do the extra damage that is needed. And obviously like the cards also have the epiphany over here, that is basically an upgrade to the card so that you can get like different skills. So each of them are going to be different. I'm not going to talk about this because it's going to be super in detail, and also their dupes and potentials and everything else. I'm just going to give you like the gist of the characters so that when it starts, you know like which characters are like best suited for you, and then the details will be in a separate video of each of the characters. So based on that, he has this hunting instinct that you can have the hunt commence on himself that does extra attack, and mainly is going to be single target ones. And over here it says that when using a targeting attack card, inflict the extra damage. So this is important to know because he does this random attack on the enemies, so this is not going to be affected by the hunt commence. But other characters that have the targeting attack card will gain this additional buff. He also has this over here, and he has the haste option for both of these skills, both of these cards, and is actually good because haste, this card doesn't reduce the enemy's action count, and in this game whenever the enemy's action count goes down to 0, they're gonna attack you. So you can do like a free, it's not free, obviously it's going to cost 1 AP like the action point, but still you're not gonna reduce the enemy's action count, so that you can do more, you can play like more cards to like either deal damage or do whatever skill that they have. He also has a shield over here and also buffs the extra attack of hunt commence. So he's like a single target main attacker, and with the hunt commence he can get buffed up with the extra attacks, and this is also good with other characters. Now we have the second one, Kayron. So he's going to give you like the void cards that we have over here, and whenever you exhaust the void cards you can gain like additional buffs. So for example over here he has an incredible high AoE damage, 360 to all the enemies, and cost 3 APs, which is a lot. But whenever you exhaust your cards, like the void cards for example, you can get the AP cost reduced by the number of cards that you exhausted. Over here as well, it will increase the damage per exhausted card by 40%. So it's going to his kit is based on the exhausting cards, the voids that we have over here, to get the buff on himself. And then we have Luke. So Luke is actually not that good at the start of the game, and I'm going to tell you why. He's mainly I think he'll be more useful later on because his kit goes around the crit chance. So whenever you do a crit, you're gonna create the handgun bullets with this skill. Obviously with this one also you're gonna create the handgun bullets. So with this bullets over here you can first of all they're free, so 0 AP cost, so you can do different damages over here, as it says, like deal 70% damage, and also here as well whenever the enemy has like a weakness or shield you're gonna deal additional damage. So this is based on him doing crits to get the bullets over here. Other than that you can also get the bullets with this card over here, create 2 handgun bullets. So as like the more crit you can do, obviously the more damage you can do, and also more bullets you can perform for yourself, so that you can deal you know, these small damages with different bullets that could stack up. Also, it's good to mention that we have like different partners. The partners are basically kind of like your weapon or your gear that could, you know, attach to your character. And based on your partners, you can get like different passives, stats, and ego skills, and so on. So I'm not gonna talk about like all of the partners because there's a lot of them. But for example, Janet as a 5-star partner character, you can increase the crit chance of the player or the combatant's attack cards costing 1 or less. So 9% crit chance you can get this buff on Luke to increase his crit chance. Now we have Mei Lin, so she's an amazing character because she buffs herself up and also can make you draw 2 basic cards from your card. So her draw power is good, and she also deals lots of damage, like 300 damage to the enemy. Also, she will buff herself up, increase attack card damage by 40%. So it's not just herself, I mean any attack cards is going to get buffed up. That's why she's a really great character as a main DPS, because she not only, increases your attacks, but also will be able to draw cards from your deck, and is also 0 cost, this one, and then you can have like 2 extra cards to play. And then we have Renoa. So Renoa is again based on like a special kit of herself. She has this Dirge bullet, and whenever you get the Dirge bullet, you can get like different effects. So deals 160% damage when moved to the graveyard, perform extra attack on random enemies. So the extra attack could be useful when you're pairing him up with Hugo, obviously, because you're gonna get this extra attack buff over here. So that way, again, she's kind of like a unique character that can do extra damage based on the Dirge bullets. Now we have Rin, so she's also a single target character, but the problem with Rin is, I'm not gonna say like problem, but like the thing that you need to consider is that she is a selfish character and she needs to be the only attacking character in your team. So you can have like shielders and supporters for your other characters, and the reason is this one, like her passive, she has a Dark Cloud stance, and this Dark Cloud stance activates a Dark Cloud Blade artifact of Rin's card, which is going to increase the damage by 50%. But then if another combatant's attack card is used, remove the Dark Cloud stance. So if you use another attack card from other character in your team, this buff will get removed. That's why she's going to be like the only attacker in your team, and then you can have like supporters in your team, but with this one, then she can do more damage, obviously. And if your other characters like deal attacking damage, then you're gonna have this buffed up removed on herself. That's why that's the catch over here with Rin. And then Veronica as the last 5-star DPS character, she also kind of like Luke, she has these ballistas on herself, like she can generate these ballista cards. Luke had the bullets, so she will create 1 ballista card at the start of each turn, create 1 ballista card. So this is because of the outbreak of war, this item over here, this trait, outbreak of war. So whenever a card does have that, you're gonna place this card on top of the draw pile at the start of the battle, so you're gonna definitely guaranteed to draw this card, and with that you can get these ballista cards. But again, like the catch over here is that the ballista cards will deal damage to random enemies, so you can't choose your, as you can see, random enemy. This one has the AoE, but then others are random enemies, so you can't choose the target to attack them, but you're gonna have these like ballista cards for free, because this will be at the start of your deck, and then you're gonna have these ballistas to deal damage to random enemies. So it's not a targeted one, but it's going to be a random enemy. But she also has this shield on herself. Now we move on to the 4-star DPS. So we have Beryl over here. So the good thing about Beryl is that you can draw cards again. As you can see here, with this one you can draw cards, but it's going to get exhausted, this card, and when it's exhausted you can play it again. So it's just one time you can draw 3 cards. And then she also has this preserved action on herself, and when you ever preserve the card, it means that if you don't use it that turn, it's going to stay in your hand till the next turn, and then you get this extra buff over here, extra attack 120% with this one as well. So it's kind of like you need to keep her cards for 1 turn, so that you'll use her on the 2nd turn to get all these extra buffs with this character Beryl. And then we have Luca, so he's like the 4-star version of Luke, because again, he's going to get these bullets and the shots over here. So again, with that, whenever you start the match, the lead says at the start of the turn, 50% chance to reduce this card's cost by 1. So there might be a chance that you're gonna get this for free, and then you're gonna create one of the launcher bullets. And with the bullets, again, you're gonna deal, different kind of damage over here based on the enemy, and they could be useful because obviously they have like different effects, but they're gonna cost 1 of the AP compared to Luke, which was 0. That's why obviously as a 5-star character is going to be better, but then again a crit rate base character, and then Lucas is going to cost you 1 AP for these exclusive shots, and it might deal more damage as a percentage over here, but the character himself has as a 4-star character, he has 461 attack, and then if you check Luke's attack as a 5-star character, is going to be 492, so it's going to be a little bit higher. And Lucas also has the AoE damage over here, 200% damage to all, but then you're gonna draw 1 card and also discard 1. So this might be, this could go both ways, and you need to discard 1 card. Now Owen is going to be one of the free characters that they're going to give us, like the game is going to give us. And with Owen you can do AoE damage again over here, just a basic flat AoE damage, and he also has this vulnerable effect that you can apply to the enemy. So the vulnerable effect, when you apply it, you're gonna increase the damage taken on the enemy by 50%. He also has a shield, so like as a 4-star character he's okay, not the best, but I mean he does all these kind of stuff, and he's also free. And then we have Selena as another 4-star character, and Selena is she works based on the marks that we have. So she applies marks on the enemy and is going to deal extra damage on the enemy, but then you have to have like high marks on the enemy so that you can deal more damage with this character Selena, and it takes a lot of time to build those marks up so that you eventually like deal high damage. And then we have Tressa, so she's going to be a free character that they're going to give us as well. And she also has these shadow daggers that whenever you do have the shadow daggers, you're going to gain 2 agonies. And agonies is like the fixed dot damage at the end of the turn. So again, it's not going to be high, but eventually when you stack those agonies up and when the battle goes on, it's going to increase the damage further. So those are all the main DPS characters that we have over here. We talked about the 5-star ones and the 4-star ones. So based on what we just mentioned, again depends on your play style, but I think Hugo, Kayron, Mei Lin, and also Renoa would be like the best main DPS over here, as in the 5-star ones. And then for the 4-star ones, I think Owen and Beryl would be better than the other 3 characters. But it's just like the first opinion and the first review on the game. Obviously we have to play them with different decks, different play styles, and see how it goes later on. Now we move on to the shielders, the like defenders over here. So we have 4 characters in total, and out of these 4, the only one that is like has lesser value compared to others is going to be Amir. So they're going to give us Amir for free, but compared to others, she's going to be like the last choice among these 4 characters over here. So we'll start with the 5-star one, Khalipe and Magna. So Khalipe as a 5-star shielder, she's one of the best characters in the game because she's a main DPS and then also a shielder character, like a defender one. So she's like a hybrid character. She has high defense and shield, but mainly she's super good when attacking because she has the AoE damage over here. She has the AoE damage over here. So she does AoE damage to the enemies. And she also has this silver veil on herself that with 3 silver veils, when it's active, Vulture Launch is upgraded to Vulture Launch Plus. So this Vulture Launch that deals 140% AoE is going to get upgraded to this one, Vulture Launch Plus, that will deal 300% damage to all enemies, which is going to be a really high number. So based on this, she's like a main DPS defender hybrid. And also there's something else that you need to know is the celestial effect that she has. So when using a card with 2 costs or higher, this card activates. So you need to build her around like cards that have 2 or more APs, and that will obviously obviously gain lots of APs from you. So AP wise, she's not like the best, but her kit is so powerful and broken that is valuable and even worth it with those high amount of APs. Now we have Magna as another shielder, so she has the counter effect, she has the shield and also the counter effect. So basically with counter effect, whenever the enemy attacks you, you can counter the attack and also attack the enemy, do an extra attack whenever they attack you. But the catch is if the enemy doesn't attack you, then this counter effect is going to be useless. But other than that, she also has like the crystallization effect, that with crystallization effect at the end of the turn, you're going to get 20% fixed shield. So as a defender, as a shielder, she's really good. She has like all the shields that is necessary, and also whenever the enemy attacks you, you can counter it. But again, this could go both ways, and depending on the enemy, if they attack you or not, this could be useful over there. So Amir, as a 4-star character, as we talked about, she's going to be the weakest among the shielders over here. She does have the shield and has the AoE damage, but not the best one compared to others. Others are just more useful based on their kits, their numbers, and everything else. She also has this metallization effect that whenever you get a shield, deal defense-based damage to a random enemy. So you need to get a shield based on your other characters or other neutral cards, so that you can have this metallization effect activated. That's why she needs to be paired up with other characters that could, give the shield, because she only has this regular shield over here and doesn't have anything else in her like unique cards. Now we have Maribell. Maribell is a 4-star character. She's actually kind of like a 5-star one in my opinion, because she has the highest shield among other characters. Like even if you check over here, so the shielding of the 5-star ones, Magna is 4 out of 5, Khalipe is like 3 out of 5, but then Maribell has 5 out of 5 shielding. So she has like the highest amount of shield compared to other characters, even though she's a 4-star one. So as a tank unit, as a defender or someone that has shield, she's going to be super broken. And other than that, she also has a counter effect over here, as it says, gain 2 counter effects, so that you can counter the enemy and fire back. So again, based on that, obviously Amir would be like the lowest valuable character over here. And then we have these 3, Khalipe, Magna, and Maribell. You can't go wrong with all 3 of them. Obviously, this one is going to be, like Khalipe is going to be a hybrid one, also focuses on DPS. But these 2 are also super good with their shielding ability. Now we'll go to the last type of character, the supporters one. So we have 1 5-star, and then we have like 4 4-star over here. So we'll start with Orlea. As a 5-star supporter, Orlea, she's giving you like different types of things over here. She's kind of like a jack of all trades, because she has this creation cards that each of them is going to give you different things. So for example, this one is going to increase the damage and also increase the next attack card used by 5%. It's not that much, but this is just level 1. Like if you check the 3-star softy over here, it's going to buff that up with 35% and also 20% over here. And then the second card is an attacking card, so this will deal damage. And then the third one is a skill card again that will gain shield, and if you preserve it and keep it for the next turn, it's going to heal as well. So these are like she can do like lots of other things over here. She heals, she deals 40% fixed damage equal to the number of cards in your hand. So the higher number of cards you have in your hand, you're gonna have more damage over here, and also heals again. So it's kind of like jack of all trades, but it might be a little bit hard to pick and choose which cards to play. So it depends on the type of the play style of the enemy as well. And talking about like being unique and also hard to play, we also have Cassius over here. Cassius, he's super unique. I think it's like the most unique character in the game, because you start a random quest, 1 out of 4. So you have like different missions over here, or quests, like 4 of them, and you start one of them, and whenever you complete the quest, you're gonna get the card equivalent to it. So for example, if you use 3 cards with cost 0, create 000, which is this one, the attacking card. So it deals 40% damage per attack card played for 1 turn. So depending on like the plays that we have like 4 different ones, it's going to be either useful or useless at some certain points. And he also has this one that can discard all cards in your hand and draw as many as a number discarded. So we have similar things in Yu-Gi-Oh as well if you play the game, but this goes both ways again. So maybe you have a good card and it might be hard to discard all of them, but in the other hand, if you have all shitty cards in your hand, you can discard all and just draw as many as you want. And over here as well, Joker, this is like the most important card in him, I guess, because it's also 0 cost AP. This one also was, the shuffle one also was 0, because with this one you can select 1 card from draw pile to draw. So whatever card you need, you can select it and draw it. That's why it's going to be a really unique character. Depending on the play style, you have to play it yourself and see if it's useful for your kind of play style or not. And then we have Mika, so she's going to be a free character as well, and one of the best characters again in the game, especially since she's free. And the reason is because she has she gains like action points for you. So she heals and also gain 1 action points. And she also has this tide effect. So whenever you get 3 tides, you can get 1 action point. An action point is super necessary because with action points, you can, use other cards. These are the action points of the cards. So the higher action points you have, the higher cards you can play. That's why she's going to be super valuable. And also she's free. And that's why it's going to be, something that you want to invest in, because she's going to support your team in a whole other level. And then we have Nia, another supporter. So she's going to give you morale, gains 2 morale. Morale is going to increase your damage by 20%. And other than that, she also has the extra attack. So not much with this character, but she also supports your team a little bit. And then we also have Ray. She's also a free character that they're going to give us. And with this free character, she's also going to increase the morale over here. She has like damage, she has like a healing ability, but again, not the best. So in total, as the supporters over here, I would arguably say Mika is going to be the best supporter, especially since she's also free. And other than her, Cassius could be a little bit unique, and depending on your play style could go both ways. And then Orlea as well, but again, it's kind of RNG because you don't know which kind of creation you're gonna get, and you might want to see if they're useful or not. But then Mika is going to be the best one for sure. So yeah, those are like my initial thoughts on the characters, different one of them, how they are played and how valuable they are. Obviously this guide will get updated later on when the game launches, and we'll see if there's anything changed in the characters themselves, and we'll talk about like the different different team comes later on. So yeah, that's all for today. I'm gonna make different videos of this game, especially since it's going to get released super soon, like beginner's guide, reroll guide, a tier list, team comms, and so on, and also like a guide on specific characters, all of them one by one, because they have like different types of ability and different ways to level them up. So make sure you like and subscribe so you won't miss a single thing. Let me know down in the comment section what are your thoughts on different characters and who's going to be your favorite one. Till next time, have fun and stay tuned.